Welcome to the Stoic Golden Tribe, where enduring wisdom meets the strength of presence, and where we uncover the truths modern society refuses to teach men. There comes a moment in every man's life when silence becomes his greatest power. Not anger, not confrontation, not explanation, just silence, controlled, intentional, and deeply masculine, because when you go silent, you stop chasing, you stop overgiving, you stop proving yourself, you stop entertaining disrespect. And suddenly, people, especially women, start to notice the shift in your energy. This video is for the man who is tired of talking, tired of repeating himself, and tired of being misunderstood. It is for the man who is ready to reclaim his presence, not through noise, but through calm, powerful withdrawal. Today we break down what truly happens when you go silent, and why women begin noticing you faster than you ever expected. Before we begin, make sure you like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the wisdom that strengthens your mind, your presence, and your purpose. Chapter 1. The Power of Silence: How Women Start Noticing You. Silence is not the absence of communication. Silence is a force, subtle, heavy, and undeniable. When a man goes silent, he stops being a participant in the constant noise of life. He stops arguing, explaining, justifying, or proving himself. He stops chasing what no longer deserves his energy. And in that moment, women notice. 1. Silence shifts the energy. A woman becomes aware of a man not through his words, but through the energy he carries. When you chase, explain, or try too hard, your energy becomes ordinary, predictable, consumable. But when you go silent, you create space, a vacuum she instinctively wants to fill. Your absence, calmness, and restraint speak louder than any words. It signals you are not dependent on her validation. You are not desperate for attention. You have a life, a purpose, and boundaries. And these truths shake her subconscious. 2. Silence forces reflection. Humans, especially women, are wired to respond emotionally before rationally. When a man withdraws, a woman begins to replay past interactions. She starts asking herself questions she never asked before. Why isn't he messaging me? Did I take him for granted? Is he focusing on someone else? Do I really want to lose him? Your silence forces her to look inward, and often she doesn't like what she finds. 3. Silence creates emotional pressure. Most men confuse talking with power. The truth is the opposite. Over-talking often diminishes your power. Silence, on the other hand, builds tension. It is not coldness. It is not punishment. It is a calculated withdrawal that awakens attention. A woman notices a man who is emotionally self-contained. She notices when a man doesn't chase validation. She notices when he can walk away without hesitation. That is true masculine power. 4. Fear of losing you awakens her interest. Women rarely fear anger, they rarely fear confrontation, they rarely fear pressure. What they fear is indifference. When you stop reacting, stop chasing, stop entertaining unnecessary drama, you signal that you are not dependent on her attention. This triggers a subtle but powerful fear. What if I lose him? And fear creates focus. Fear creates desire. Fear makes her notice what she previously ignored. 5. Silence elevates your status. Most men fight for attention. Most men over-explain. Most men beg for understanding. A silent man does not. He is self-contained, self-respected, and self-directed. The Stoics taught this centuries ago. He who is brave is free. By going silent, you demonstrate control over your emotions, mastery of your presence, independence of mind and heart. And women are naturally drawn to men who exude control, not neediness. 6. Silence separates you from the ordinary. Most men are noisy, constantly texting, oversharing, arguing, chasing approval. Your silence instantly sets you apart. You are no longer part of the predictable crowd. You are the man who cannot be easily consumed, understood, or taken for granted. and that is magnetic. 7. The invisible pull. Even if she pretends not to notice, even if she acts indifferent, her mind is studying your absence. She compares her feelings to your silence, analyzing, overthinking, and inevitably feeling a pull toward you. Silence is the quiet hand of power. It is the invisible thread that draws her attention without a word. It is subtle, it is profound, and it works every single time. Comment below, have you ever gone silent and seen her reaction change? Share your experience below. Your story could help another man reclaim his power. Chapter 2. Why silence makes her chase you. Silence is not just withdrawal, it is a strategic pause, a way to reset the balance of power without saying a single word. When a man goes silent, he stops being predictable. He stops giving immediate responses, endless attention and constant validation, and suddenly he becomes unreachable, yet unforgettable. Women notice this instantly. They feel it in their mind, in their emotions, and in their instincts. 1. The pull of mystery. Humans are naturally drawn to the unknown. When a man is always present, always talking, always predictable, there is nothing to wonder about. He becomes ordinary. But silence creates mystery. It makes her curious, sometimes anxious, sometimes fascinated. And always thinking about you, she starts asking, what is he doing? Why isn't he messaging me? Does he even care? And while she tries to hide it, she is mentally chasing you. But 2. Absence highlights value. Most men mistake attention for attraction. They give too much, expecting it to create desire. The truth is, desire grows when value is noticed, not handed out. Silence makes a woman pause. It makes her reflect on what she has been taking for granted. Your absence is a mirror, showing her what she stands to lose. And when she realizes your worth, her attraction grows stronger, almost uncontrollably. 3. Silence. Triggers respect. Chasing diminishes respect. Explaining diminishes respect. Oversharing diminishes respect. A silent man, however, commands it naturally. He does not argue, he does not over-explain, he does not react to every drama. Instead, he embodies a quiet confidence that is magnetic and commanding. When a woman senses this, she begins to reevaluate her behavior. She notices boundaries she may have crossed. She notices your composure. She notices your unshakable presence. 4. Women begin to compete. Silently. When you go silent, her mind starts working in ways she never planned. She may compare herself to others. Would he notice her if I ignore him? Did I overstep? Do I want to lose him? Silence creates subtle competition in her mind. She starts subconsciously trying to regain your attention, not by chasing directly, but by adjusting her own behavior, by showing value, by acting differently to see if she can draw you back in. And this is how a woman begins to chase you without you even asking. 5. Silence brings emotional alignment. Men who are always available are emotionally reactive. Men who are silent are emotionally composed. Silence allows you to observe without attachment, see the situation clearly, and allow her actions to reveal her intentions. This is powerful because women notice men who can remain calm while others react emotionally. They are drawn to him not because he is loud, but because he is emotionally unshakable. 6. The magnetic effect of detachment. Detachment is not coldness. It is a higher form of self-respect. It says, I will not chase attention I do not respect myself for. I will not prove my worth to someone who cannot see it. This magnetic detachment awakens her desire. It makes her think, feel, and even question her choices, and she begins to chase, quietly, subtly, irresistibly. 7. The lesson for men. Silence is not punishment. It is strategy. It is power in action. It is the ultimate test of value. By withdrawing, you are not losing control. You are gaining it. By speaking less, you are teaching more. By being present in absence, you are showing her your true worth. She notices. She reacts. She chases. but only because she senses your unshakable power and your refusal to settle for less than you deserve. Drop a comment below. Have you ever gone silent and noticed a change in her behavior? Share your story. Chapter 3. What happens in her mind when you go silent? When a man goes silent, it's easy to think nothing is happening, that it's just quiet. But make no mistake, silence creates a storm inside her mind, a storm she cannot control, and one that draws her attention to you like a magnet. 1. She starts noticing your absence in everyday life. At first, she may ignore it. She may scroll through her day, act indifferent, post online, even pretend she doesn't care. But inside, she begins to notice small things. The way she reached for her phone expecting a message and didn't get one. How she realized she missed your presence in conversation. How certain memories suddenly feel sharper. Silence makes her feel your absence in ways that words never could. 2. She questions her actions. When a man withdraws, a woman naturally starts to reflect on her own behavior. Did I push him too far? Was I too demanding? Did I take him for granted? Do I really want to risk losing him? Your silence creates an internal mirror, forcing her to confront her actions without a single word from you. She can argue all she wants externally, but internally, she is analyzing every move, every text, every conversation, all because of your absence. 3. The fear of losing you sets. In most women, fear losing men they actually value. When you withdraw, she feels the risk of loss, and that risk awakens desire. Fear makes her rethink her choices. Fear makes her notice your value. Fear makes her imagine a life without your presence. And unlike anger, fear is productive for attraction. It motivates her to reconsider, to chase, to notice what she ignored before. 4. Her mind starts to obsess. Quietly, women are masters at emotional thinking. When you go silent, she thinks about your habits, your laugh, your energy. She recalls moments she enjoyed with you. She wonders why you aren't reaching out. She imagines your life without her in it. Even if she doesn't admit it, even if she pretends she doesn't care, her mind is occupied with you constantly. This is the invisible effect of your withdrawal. She is chasing you emotionally, even while acting indifferent externally. 5. She begins testing you. Women often test boundaries, especially when they notice change. She may send a casual message to see if you respond. She may act different, softer, or more attentive. She may try to subtly provoke your attention. Every test she performs is proof that she notices the difference. Your silence is not ignored. It is being measured, analyzed, and responded to, often without her even realizing it. 6. She feels the pull of your energy. Energy speaks louder than words. When you go silent, your energy shifts. You are no longer reactive. You are calm, composed, unbothered. You are emotionally strong and self-contained. This shift pulls her attention naturally without effort. She senses the strength she cannot control, and instinctively she is drawn toward it. 7. The ultimate effect. She starts chasing. Eventually, your silence creates the conditions for her to act. She begins reaching out. She begins noticing your absence more than your presence. She begins valuing you more than she ever did when you were always available. Silence is a tool, not for manipulation, but for revealing your worth. A man who goes silent is not desperate, not weak, not insecure. He is in control, he is disciplined, he is powerful, and women naturally notice power. They are drawn to it, even when they try not to be. Drop a comment below. Have you ever noticed her behavior change after you stop texting or talking for a while? Share your story. Chapter 4. How to go silent strategically and make her notice. Going silent is not simply ignoring her or disappearing without reason. It is a conscious strategy. a controlled pause that demonstrates power, value, and emotional control. The man who masters this understands the truth. Words alone cannot create respect, attraction, or desire, but the absence of words can. This chapter is about turning silence into a weapon of presence, not cruelty, and ensuring that every move you make increases her awareness of your worth. 1. Understand your purpose. Before going silent. Before you withdraw, ask yourself, why am I going silent? Am I doing this to teach her respect or just to get attention? Am I controlling my emotions or reacting out of frustration? Silence without purpose is weakness. Silence with clarity is power. The goal is not to punish her. It is not to make her chase you blindly. It is to elevate your presence, show your independence, and allow her to see your value through absence. 2. Start small. Withdraw gradually. Going completely silent overnight can feel extreme and may backfire if done without preparation. Start by reducing unnecessary messages, responding less frequently, speaking only when meaningful, focusing on your own life, work, and energy. This shift will be noticed subconsciously. Even minor changes create curiosity and emotional tension in her mind. Women are highly observant. Even small withdrawal triggers thought, reflection, and attention. 3. Focus on yourself. Build your presence. The key to effective silence is action and presence outside of her attention. Pursue your goals relentlessly. Build your skills, your body, your mind. Strengthen your social, financial, and personal life. When you go silent, she must sense that you are not distracted, desperate, or lonely. Your silence becomes powerful because it is backed by undeniable growth and energy. A man who thrives in silence is magnetic. He does not need her to define his worth. 4. Keep calm. Do not react to tests. When a man withdraws, women often test him. She may send unexpected messages. She may act distant to provoke you. She may create drama to see if you respond. The silent man does not react impulsively. He observes calmly, responds selectively, and maintains composure at all times. Remember, every reaction you give reduces the power of your silence. Calmness equals strength, silence equals control, non-reaction equals attraction. 5. Make her work for your attention, subtly. A man who always gives attention freely is easy to take for granted. A man who withdraws attention strategically makes her invest her energy into noticing him. Your texts become selective, thoughtful, and meaningful. Your calls become intentional, not habitual. Your presence is scarce, but impactful. This creates emotional tension, which naturally draws her attention. She will start thinking about you more than she ever did when you were constantly available. 6. Silence reveals. True intentions, going silent acts as a filter. It shows who truly values you. It shows who respects your boundaries. It reveals who is willing to wait, reflect, and chase authentically. Women who care will notice, reflect, and adapt their behavior. Women who do not will fade away, freeing you from wasted energy. Silence clarifies relationships. It separates those who value you from those who take you for granted. 7. The psychological effect, curiosity and desire. When a man withdraws, 2 things happen in her mind. 1. Curiosity. She wonders where you are, what you are doing, and why you are not responding. 2. Desire. She begins to appreciate your value more, sometimes realizing what she took for granted. This is not manipulation. It is natural psychology. Humans are wired to notice scarcity and value presence that is not constant. A man who is always available is ordinary. A man who is selective is extraordinary. 8. The Stoic mindset behind silence. The Stoics teach that control over oneself is the ultimate power. By going silent, you control your attention. By going silent, you control your energy. By going silent, you control your value. Silence is not passive. It is active, calculated, and disciplined. It demonstrates that you refuse to be reactive or desperate, and that is the essence of true masculine presence. Fine. How long should you stay silent? There is no fixed timeline. It depends on the situation. Days, hours, or even weeks. Silence should be purposeful, not reckless. Observe her reactions carefully. Adjust based on whether she begins to respect your boundaries and notice your worth. Remember, the goal is not to punish her. The goal is to let your absence speak louder than words ever could. 10. The ultimate truth. Silence works because it shifts the power dynamic without conflict. It awakens reflection, desire, and respect. It gives you control over your energy, your presence, and your life. When you master silence, you do not need to chase her attention. You do not need to explain yourself. You do not need to beg or plead. She notices, she reflects, she values, she chases, all because you chose to stop chasing first. Silence is not weakness. Silence is mastery. Silence is power. Drop a comment below. Have you tried going silent? What happened, and how did it change her behavior? Share your experience. Silence is not absence. Silence is power. It is the quiet declaration of a man who knows his worth, who values his time, and who commands respect without raising his voice or proving himself. When you go silent, you are not being cruel. You are not playing games. You are not seeking attention. You are simply removing yourself from unnecessary noise, reclaiming your energy, and letting your presence speak louder than any words ever could. Most men waste their lives chasing attention, seeking validation, and explaining themselves endlessly. They speak too much, overcomplicate their feelings, and give away their power in the hope that someone else will notice it. But the rare man, the man who truly understands the rules of power, knows that true strength comes not from speaking, but from restraint. Silence awakens curiosity. Silence awakens reflection. Silence awakens desire. A woman notices a man most not when he is always present, but when he withdraws, pauses, and elevates himself beyond her expectations. Your silence forces her to reflect, to question, to see your value in a way words alone could never convey. When you withdraw, you stop chasing validation, you stop depending on someone else to feel worthy, you stop giving attention that diminishes your energy. Instead, you reclaim your power, you focus on your growth, you build your mind, your body, your purpose, and your presence. Your silence is not emptiness, it is not weakness, it is deliberate, calculated mastery of your energy and your life. A man who masters silence becomes magnetic without trying. He does not argue, he does not beg, he does not over-explain. He simply exists with calm, controlled strength, and the world and women cannot help but notice. Observe her reactions carefully. Watch as she begins to notice the man she took for granted. Notice how her curiosity grows. Notice how respect slowly replaces disregard. Notice how her desire is awakened, all because you stopped giving it away for free. Remember this, going silent is not about manipulation. It is about clarity, control, and self-respect. It is about understanding that your energy is valuable, limited, and meant to be protected. It is about teaching the world to act silently, calmly, that you will never be anyone's second choice or distraction. The man who understands this lives life on his own terms. He does not bend to societal pressures. He does not fall for temporary attention. He does not tolerate disrespect. He lives purposefully, powerfully, and independently, and his silence becomes his greatest statement of strength. So start today. Focus on yourself. Grow your mind, your body, and your spirit. Withdraw when necessary. Speak only when it adds value. Let your absence become your presence, and let your calm control become your attraction. She will notice, she will respect, she will chase quietly, thoughtfully, irresistibly. If this video gave you clarity, strength, or understanding, like, share, and subscribe to the Stoic Golden Tribe. Drop a comment below and share your experience. Your story could empower another man to reclaim his life, his energy, and his presence. Always remember, your value is not in your words, but in your presence. Your strength is not in your explanations, but in your calm control. Your life is not in the hands of others, but in your own mastery. Stay strong. Stay silent. Stay unshakable. And one day, you will realize the man who masters silence is not just noticed, he becomes unforgettable.